is Chris Beaufort, and the title of Chris's speech is Visiting the In-Laws. Visiting the In-Laws, Chris Beaufort.
In June, I went to visit the in-laws. For many of you, this could be easy. You just get in the car and you drive over there. For me, it's pretty easy too. I just get in the car and drive to Manchester. I find somewhere to park the car. I go to the airport. I queue for 2 hours. I get on a plane. I fly to Helsinki. I get off the plane. I find a rental car. I drive for 3 hours into the wilderness. I get lost. I find myself again and I'm there. Simple. But Mr. Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters and anyone whose wallet has felt the strain of being in love. Isn't it nerve-wracking meeting the in-laws? They could hate me. They could tell Alina not to see me. They could give me a negative evaluation. Now, my in-laws are in Finland. That's where my girlfriend is from. And in Finland, it's considered fashionable for the women to date foreign men. Especially if they play ice hockey. Like she still thinks I do. But she assures me that isn't the only reason that she's with me. I am, however, very worried about Finland's future. You see, since Nokia collapsed, 40% of their economy is now based on the video game Angry Birds. And you've really just got to wonder how sustainable this is for an entire country. Of course, it's not actually called Finland, it's called Suomi. That's what local people call it. But being British, we've gone round the world renaming other countries as we see fit. At some point in the country's history, a British explorer will have landed on their shores. And a local will have greeted them with, "Moi, welcome to Suomi." And the British explorer will have turned round and gone, and I like to think in a broad Yorkshire accent, "Suomi? No mate, I'm never going to pronounce that. From now on this is Finland. Finland." The only way to get there is to fly. And that's somewhat difficult if, like me, you have a pathological fear of flying. So I booked myself on the Flying Without Fear course. This is a one-day course that teaches you not to be scared of what is essentially just sitting in a tin can for a prolonged period of time. Now the course actually ends in a flight. You go to the airport and you take a flight from Leeds all the way to Leeds, which as a Yorkshireman is my ideal holiday destination. The course is led by a very experienced pilot called Captain Dom, and he explains that flying is actually the safest form of transport. In fact, you are 87 times more likely to die in a road accident than you are in a plane crash. This is something that really struck a chord with me, so now I don't fly or drive. So I did the course. It goes as well as can be hoped for, and I came away with a lovely photo of me doing this. Great, now we can fly to Finland. The good news is that it's only 3 hours away, and because it's inside the EU, there's very little border security. There's no cavity searches, even if you ask for one. Not We fly with Finnair, and on this route they're running a special trial. This special trial is that instead of providing an in-flight meal, they don't provide one. That's okay, because it gives me more chance to work on what I'm going to say to Alina's mother. And in many ways, it's like preparing a Toastmasters speech. Competent boyfriend manual, Project 5, the mother-in-law. Speech objectives, don't offend. Seem lovable and reliable. Consider mentioning you're financially secure or could provide grandchildren someday. And we make it to Finland, and I've booked a rental car. I've driven for about 8 years in the UK, and occasionally, just occasionally, you get an idiot on the wrong side of the road. There, everyone was doing it. As if that wasn't bad enough, Finland has a lot of elk, so dotted all the way down their motorways are triangular warning signs with pictures of elk on them. So by this point, I'm pretty terrified. I'm driving down this single carriage motorway at 100 miles an hour. At least, I think it's miles an hour. There's 100 on the speed sign. There are cars coming head on into what I assume is my lane. And at any moment, an elk could run into the middle of the road and cause a fatal collision. Not to mention dodging angry birds. Somehow, we make it alive to the big town where her mother lives, Lidela, and now we've got to find the place. Now Leeds is a big town. It has a population density of 1,500 people per square kilometre. Lidela has 15, so my fears of being lost in the urban sprawl are perhaps unfounded. We soon find the place and I realise this is it. This is my moment to shine. I have prepared word-perfect compliments about her daughter. I have cut out my ums, ahs and ers. I am ready to use the word of the day. And just as we get there, Alina leans over to me and whispers, "Oh, I forgot to mention, she doesn't speak English." So fellow Toastmasters, learn from my mistakes and always remember to know your audience. Mr. Contest Chair.